All right, so when you're doing your final um, delete. All right, so you want to do your final analysis in Capstone. You go to calculating your meta-analysis. There's an there's an overview page. It says, just in this section what exists. There's a worksheet number one that walks you through how to get your results from a computer program that lives on the cloud. This is something that I made. Worksheet number two walks you through how to interpret the results you get. The other links, are links to objects that you might find useful in the worksheet. Please go through the worksheets very carefully. So we click on our calculating our meta-analysis. What do we have to do? I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. The first thing you have to do is you will notice there's a sample Excel file in that area. And you have to make sure that your Excel file looks like mine. That means essentially start with the Excel file I have, just like this, and you want yours to look like it. So change your study authors' names. Just go ahead and you can use the APA style. I would just use et al. Instead of putting every single author's name on there. So if you have more than one author, just put et al. But essentially, I'd use this style right here to the in-text style for APA to represent the studies. My Y's, YI, has to be YI. Don't change, just start with this file and put in your effect sizes underneath. Your V's underneath, VI, your moderator. These are categorical moderators. You can do one at a time. So, whatever your moderator is, I put A, B, and C, so forth. Put in one word that represents that moderator. Not two, no spaces, nothing fancy. Moderator continuous, leave it as moderator continuous. Don't change that name, or you'll have to change other coding there. And put in your continuous moderator, run it, and then you'll get your output. So essentially, you have to get your data file set up just like this. All of these names have to be identical, otherwise the program won't work. So that's just number one. Get your Excel file set up. If you can get your Excel file set up like this, and you can't get the program to run, you can send it to me, and I can get it to run for you, but I won't do that until Monday of next week. I want you to try from today till Monday to try to get it to work. I really want you to do that. I don't want to make a penalty or anything. I thought about it, but if you're struggling, I don't really think you should, but if you are struggling and something weird happens, and you're going to need my help, I'm going to need your data file. I'm going to need to look at it. Things can sometimes get weird. All right, so that's step number one, right? How to get your results. Boom. Step number two, you got to create an account on RStudio Cloud. They're free. You're going to have to go through, make an account. I'm not going to walk you through this one too hard. Once you log in, you'll see something like this. You're successful. Then your next step is to go ahead and I'm going to copy this address. I'm going to create a new tab. Didn't copy the 8. What you will see here is it'll load. It'll take its sweet time. This is my project, so you'll see other options. You'll have the option to save the project up here. You'll see that next. But when this loads, what you'll see here is you'll probably see a blank screen up here, but you'll see this kind of output. These are the files, right? You're going to have to eventually get your Excel file in here, which isn't that bad. If you click on this button right here, this guy shows up. This is where all my code that does the meta-analysis for you exists. And so essentially, when you look at the process, it's going to be fairly easy. You're going to click upload. You're going to click choose file. And mine, I'm going to have to navigate to my folder. I navigate to this folder. I'm just going to go ahead and choose one. Effect size names. Let me see what I got in there. I can't really see. I don't think I have BB in there. So I'm going to go ahead and upload effect size BB. I'm going to click OK, and then you'll see the file pops up here. So then all I do is I go into this. Once I get that uploaded, I'm almost done with the analysis. All I have to do then is change this right here, this name, to effect size BB, and then I click this button knit to Word. We wait for it to run. It runs. It asks me to download the file. I do. And I have to look at my downloads here. Now we have our meta-analysis output. So you can change some things in the code if you want to put your name on it and so forth. But essentially, that process right here, I'm running through it, and you'll see, oh, we changed it to effect size BB. Great. I keep going down here, and it is like, okay, this is stuff I wrote. I'm giving you like advice here, but we're watching this video. It's like, okay, it ran this model, which is a random effects model like our book talked about, and this value right here is my average effect size, my p-value, and my 95% confidence interval for my effect size. This is my Q-test for heterogeneity. So if this is significant, it suggests I have moderators to find. This one does not suggest I have moderators to find. Okay, that's my main, my main effect size. This one is a significant, effect. It's different from 0. The true population effect is going to be somewhere between 1.2 and 1.57. I made this one up, so they're not all going to be this pretty, right? The Q-test for moderators suggests non-significance. There aren't hidden moderators. Technically, I could be done, but, we have moderator analysis that we're interested in at the very least. Right here is a forest plot that shows me all the studies that I used. You can say I did a poor job of labeling my studies in this data file. But this is every single study I found, their effect, and their 95% confidence interval. Down here, we have the effect and the 95% confidence interval for the entire meta-analysis. And you will see that it matches these numbers up here. So that's pretty cool. This is our I-squared statistic. It's a little ugly. We had to calculate it by hand. That's our I-squared statistic. So that's basically 0. If you get a scientific notation one like this, you just got to play it out. So that'd be, got to go over 8 spots and put 7 zeros in there, 0.000, 7 times, 17714. My I-squared is basically non-existent. That is much less than 50%. When I get down here to my meta-analysis, categorical moderator number 1, the only thing I'm interested in this part is this Q-test for moderators. Is this significant? No, it is not a significant moderator. This stuff down here does not matter. Just this one line right here. You'll see that in the output. So then part number 2, the only thing that matters here is I want individual meta-analysis estimates for each of my categories in my categorical moderator. So I had 2 categories in this moderator. This is the effect size for effects in category A, effect size for effects in category B, 95% confidence interval. The p-value, it's significantly different from 0, but it's like it ran 2 mini meta-analyses right here. But that's all I need from that. It plots a box plot. So in group A, the bottom 25 percentile of effects was at 1.5. The upper 75th percentile was at 1.7. The bottom 25th percentile for B was at 1.2 something, and the upper 75th percentile was at 1.3 something. All it does is let you say, oh, like these do have different average effects, but they're not significantly different from each other. It just lets you look at it a little bit. Down here, we have our continuous, the effects of our continuous moderator. Down here, we don't look at the test of moderators. All we look at is this beta value, the p-value, 95% confidence interval. This is interpreted like a regression coefficient. It's non-significant. 95% confidence interval of these regression coefficients, which are interpreted like correlation coefficients. But right here is my test of my continuous moderator. This one suggests it's a very small correlation at best, and the true population correlation could be a negative correlation, essentially of 0.02 to a positive correlation of 0.24. It's not significant. It's not tight. This moderator didn't really predict changes in effect sizes. But I get this nice scatter plot. I only had 4 effects in here. And, essentially what we see here is a scatter plot of the continuous moderator values and the effect size values. So there appears to be a relationship, but it wasn't significant. We do kind of focus on that. And so essentially that's it for your meta-analysis. From this one, what do I know? I know that there was a significant effect, the positive Cohen's d of about 1.4. The true population effect is a large effect. My moderators, I didn't need to look for them. They weren't really there to be looked for. When I looked at them, none of them were significant predictors of the outcome. But yeah, essentially this is the whole entire meta-analysis in 11 minutes. Let me go back to sorry about that. Let me just go back here, right? Because I left and I did. What did I do? I went through every single step on the sheet. Oh, okay. Right? So I did this. I messed around with all of this stuff right there. Let me get up in the middle so we can see. Right, uploaded the file. You might need multiple files if you have more than one categorical moderator you want to test and more than one continuous moderator you want to test. If you don't see that output, the actual code pop up, you're gonna have to click this button. So make sure you do that, and then you look. That's everything we saw. What did we have to do? We changed our file name and we clicked knit. That was it. Knit to Word. We got the results. That's it. You should get something like this, and I just walked you through one. So that's your meta-analysis in 12 minutes.